I want you, you want me. Nobody do it better. When we are together, don't wanna wait. Don't wanna wait for your love. I don't wanna wait. Oh, don't wanna wait. Wanna wait for your love. I don't wanna wait. No, no, no.
I was thinking we could hang like Hussein. Or we could kick it like Luke Kane. I heard around town that your man soft. So baby, let me wax on while he wax off. I ain't playing, little mama. I'm hoping you peep game, little mama. Baby, go and do your thing, little mama. I promise I won't diss you on stage, little mama. That's real talk. You know the shit. I'm a real man and you noticed it. With your hair done and your nails did. With that new dress and I noticed it. God damn, it's been a long week. But the week's in it. So put that thing on me, girl. Until I fall asleep in it. Hold on.
I want you want me. Nobody do it better. When we are together, don't wanna wait. Don't wanna wait for your love. I don't wanna wait. Oh, don't wanna wait. Wanna wait for your love. I don't wanna wait. No, no, no.
I'm talking presidential suites in the Bahamas. How you feeling like Miss Obama? All night I beat it, I can go for hours. That's after I eat it, baby Jeffrey Dahmer. Probably had you speechless. Girl, you know you need this. Ain't talking hugging and kissing, I'm talking touching and licking off from your head to your toes, dripping all on your clothes. On the accent for more, when you can get it for show, girl, you can get it for show. You got a pool full of roses, I'ma dive in it, but it's so wet and deep, hope I survive in it. So can I get the numbers to your phone, and baby we can talk up until the early morning. And I ain't talking just to hit it. So what you trying to do? Club close in a minute, hold on.
I want you want me. Nobody do it better. When we are together, don't wanna wait. Don't wanna wait for your love. I don't wanna wait. Oh, don't wanna wait. Wanna wait for your love. I don't wanna wait. No, no, no.
Let me into your mind, girl. That get me into your soul. What you let me into your soul, girl. That get me into your clothes. What you let me into your clothes, girl. That get me all in your bed. Want somebody in your bed, girl. You can't get me out of your head. Let me into your mind, girl. That get me into your soul. Let me into your soul, girl. That get me into your clothes. Let me into your clothes, girl. That get me all in your bed. Want some more in your bed. You can't get me out of your head.
I want you want me. Nobody do it better. When we are together, don't wanna wait. Don't wanna wait for your love. I don't wanna wait. Oh, don't wanna wait. Wanna wait for your love. I don't wanna wait. No, no, no.
Welcome back to another episode of the Top Cast featuring yours truly and ToneYouAFool. The track you just heard was by none other than my co-host, ToneYouAFool, because I don't fuck with slouch ass dudes. The guy's obviously multi-talented. He's not only a comedian because he's funny, he obviously got some fire lyrics. And don't let him get around your girl because he sounds like he's a true player for real. You ain't got to ask Puff Daddy. You just heard him with Sean Kingston. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of the Top Cast. This is episode number 7 of the Kings of Comedy, featuring yours truly, the incredible T.O.P, ToneYouAFool, and the young homie Roe. Unfortunately, this evening, Roe is unable to join us. Nonetheless, the show must go on. Welcome back, Tone. How you doing, man? How you been?
Been good, man. Been good. Out here in this hot ass Arizona weather, but I've been straight, man.
I know that's right. It's unseasonably cool over here on the East Coast where I am. Usually around this time of the year, it's a consistent 80 degrees with just over 60 or 65% humidity. You know, because we get ready to go into the summertime. We almost at we at the halfway point just about of the year. And the rest of the year is
Right.
going to be hot, and then we'll go right back into the wintertime. But I just wanted to say that I'm really feeling that track, man. That's some smooth shit. I know you probably said some shit like that to a bitch before, and that's why you put it on the song to immortalize it. But damn, Tone, it's like I'm always fascinated and surprised to find out that not only you, but just people in general, how many different talents that people have. And not only are you a funny motherfucker, you do stand-up comedy, but you are in the music, which we discussed this before on way back on the earlier episode of the Kings of Comedy. And you also are a security guard, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Um, I was telling you a story one time, and based on the question that I asked you, and that was, as a security guard, have you ever had to choke a motherfucker out, or rough up a motherfucker that's out of line at the club? And your response again was,
I've always been pushed right to that point, but the person never like gave me reason to like enough to be like, all right, motherfucker, let me choke you fuck out.
okay, okay.
You know,
And I
usually,
remember,
after I let it be known that I'm not hesitant to fuck you up, they kind of
mhm.
like, all right, let me chill. Nobody want no. That's the funny thing about men is nobody wants to get hit. You know what I'm saying? Even the dude who can fight don't want to get hit. He just want like if he don't gotta fight, he not gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? And once you establish like I will punch you, like people kind of calm down.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was telling you that one time. I remember this is probably one of the last times I ever went out to the club because I never really been a club guy. But I noticed that sometimes women get preferential treatment. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of times we as guys, we complain about the double standards between men and women. And a lot of times we actually enforce these double standards or create them. And this is what happened in this particular situation when I last went to the club. Me and a club security bouncer, whatever you want to call him, we almost got into it because he wouldn't let me in the club, but he let the two chicks that was in front of me in. And at the time, I didn't quite understand. I didn't get the dynamic. And women generally, there's never a guy's getting free before 12 day. You know what I'm saying? There's no man's day at the
Right.
club. There's no man's night at the club. You know what I'm saying? We always come to the club and have
Right.
to be spending. But the reason why I asked you, had you ever had to get physical with somebody, is because this guy kind of came off like trying to intimidate me because I'm questioning him as to why the fuck can't I give you my money and go in and enjoy myself? And he
Right.
kind of positioned himself like he wanted to do something to me. So I invited the motherfucker to come off the property, but he wouldn't do it because I don't want to fight you at the club. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You want to fight,
I
motherfucker?
still
Let's
want to
go
go to
over
this
here.
motherfucker after I fight you.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I don't want you to get no check in case I fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
I'll be thinking like that. But I just found that to be very, very interesting that, in situations like that, we as guys, we actually enforce these double standards that we often hear a lot of guys complain about women having. And that's one of them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
I, I think a
with
lot of
feminism.
women. Go ahead.
It's just like with feminism. A lot of guys complain about feminism and they complain about, women taking advantage of it. Um, when, it's basically just human nature to take advantage where you can. But the fact that it's enforced by men, so it's
Yeah.
like your problem is men, not the women, you know? They like a symptom of the problem. If you get what
Right.
I'm trying to convey. But you was gonna
Yeah, I see what
say,
you're saying. It's like you ever heard somebody say "make it make sense"?
yeah,
Like so like that's what men tend to do is make it make sense. Like for instance, like how you said, ladies' night at the club, it ain't never no fellas' night, is because men ain't put themselves in a position where it's profitable to benefit us.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We made it where
Okay,
our benefit is the bitches being there, period. And
mm-hmm.
they know ain't no dudes gonna be in there if ain't no chicks in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we
Mm-hmm.
make it make sense to have the double standards.
I got you. Yeah, and then turn right around and you hear a lot
Complain
of
about it.
guys grumble and complain about it. It's almost like
I bet you if we stopped
damned if
going to
you,
the clubs, they
damned
would
if,
start finding
yeah,
ways for us to go.
yeah, yeah. And they give incentives, and guys are coochie hungry, so they make up
Mm-hmm.
reasons to go anyway. I could dig it. I
Mm-hmm.
could dig it. So what's been going on in Tone's world? Because my world has been quite hectic. I almost got bit by a dog today. I was late to work.
Oh,
My motorcycle has
right.
been in the shop for 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks this Saturday. I get it back this week. I thought it was only going to be there for 2. But you ever had those days when it almost, or weeks or months, where it almost seemed like every fucking thing is going wrong?
Like somebody playing chess with your life, like you couldn't do nothing to stop what happened from happening, even if you like.
Sort of like that.
Yeah, yeah, man. I've had years like that before, man. Where like my entire life felt like somebody like a kid was toying. You know how kids how in movies a kid would take like a magnifying glass and put it on an ant. I would feel like somebody was like playing with me like that. Like it just be like, how the fuck did this happen all synchronized together at a point where I couldn't do nothing to stop this from happening?
Exactly.
And yeah, that just be life.
I know it's amazing because it makes me wonder about, what I'm saying, is this how things supposed to be? A lot of people,
Right.
at least in my estimation, and from what I can see in my daily going ons with around people, it's like most people are not very inquisitive. Most people are, from what I can see, seem to be, vibrating on a very, very low frequency. And
They take things like face value.
yeah, yeah, and people take a lot of things for granted. And I was actually speaking on this, sort of in a roundabout way when I did the video with BGS, and he was saying that people respect other people's basic humanity, and I was disagreeing with him like that can't be so. I mean, you have people who are inconsiderate of you every day. You can see it just when you go out and drive in traffic.
Right.
So, it's hard for me to believe that what you're saying when that's not what I'm seeing reflected in the reality. You understand what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. The concern for your fellow man is definitely. I will say in America, I can't speak for every other country, but I can
Hmm.
say in America, respect for your fellow man is at an all-time low
I
because so
was,
many
man,
people,
I was thinking those were exact words. Go ahead. I was
man,
thinking
like so
the
many people
exact
are
thing
so
you said.
self-centered. Right. It's crazy, man. Like they just, and social media don't help because it's all about you. Everything becomes about you, and it comes to a point where I've noticed
You barking out there, Tom. Hello? Uh-oh, Tom might drop from the stream. If he do, then we'll just wait for him to come back through.
today.
You breaking up real bad, Tom. You there? I hope that connection. You still unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, I can hear you now. Yeah, see, I thought that's what was going to happen. Okay.
Basically, we so focused on ourselves. Oh, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't realize the domino effect of their actions. Like you remember, did you see the new Justice League thing?
The Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I started watching it, and then I started watching Wonder Woman 1984, but I haven't finished it.
Okay, so at the beginning, you know how like when Superman and him fight, and it's like this wave echo that goes out.
Yeah.
People don't realize every one of their actions has that.
That kind of a ripple effect. Sort of like the butterfly effect. Would you describe it like that?
Yeah, exactly like that. How they say like a flapping of a butterfly's wings can attribute to like a hurricane.
Yeah, I got you.
On the world, they figure that their world is the only thing that's affected and not everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on that. That we as people often don't realize that our actions, do have an impact, on other people's lives, directly or indirectly. And there's no way to get around that. And that's probably the chief reason why, we as people should be conscious of the things that we do. Or if we, at least understand why we're doing what we're doing. So I agree with you on that part. I understand the analogy that you're making in reference to that.
It's more powerful. Okay. Imagine a guy who goes in for like job interview, and like two guys go in for a job interview, and one guy gets the job, the other guy doesn't. The fact that you got the job indirectly affects the other person who doesn't get the job and now has to find another job or starve. Even something as simple as that can affect somebody else's life.
Mm-hmm. Agree. I agree 100%. That the one movie that the one that I can't remember the name of it, but Will Smith starred in it when he was homeless with his son.
Oh yeah, Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. That movie comes to mind, not as like an exact example, but it sort of speaks to that dynamic. And this is what I was trying. This is what I was trying to communicate when I was having a couple weeks ago when I was having a conversation about being deserving and entitlement, and that is that you technically, if you really think about it and be logical about it, having something is not the same thing as doing something with it or displaying that you have it. So, for example, I use the job example that you just used. Would you agree or disagree that a person who possesses all of the qualities of a good worker is equally as deserving as a person who possesses those very same qualities but goes to work every day? Who would you say is more deserving of the paycheck?
The person who goes to work every day.
Okay. Now my second question is the person who possesses all the qualities of a good worker, how would you know that?
By him being a good worker.
Okay.
Through his actions.
Exactly. So now my third question is, is how is a person who possess qualities just as deserving as one who possesses those qualities and actually either utilizes them or displays them, which involves an action.
So how are they
You
equal?
see what I'm getting? Yeah, how are they equal?
They aren't.
Exactly. This is the point that I was making. And
Right.
and this speaks to, you know, the topic is that we as people, we often do things without thinking of the consequences beyond just ourselves. And so if you take those three concepts and you make them equivalent, right? Then it makes room for people to be entitled. And when you have entitled people, you're going to have other people who are going to lose as a result of that.
Right. In fact, everybody loses.
Exactly. So, I mean, that was the point that I was trying to make. You know, it wasn't well received. I didn't expect it to. And virtually no black men are going to agree that they don't deserve respect, even though, you know, when you get to it, even though they've actually done nothing to earn it. So this is the conversation that I'm trying to have in reference to a lot of guys on the internet who keep pointing the finger at women as if they are the problem. Where I keep saying they're just a symptom of the problem. If you go address the actual problem, then they'll cease being a problem or a symptom anyway. And what I keep finding is a lot of resistance from guys. And it reminds me of the amount of resistance you get from women. It's like nobody really wants to be accountable. Everybody wants to point the finger and play the blame game instead of actually fixing the fucking problem. But
because they feel like the person whose fault it is has to fix the problem, and that's not the case at all.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Because everybody knows fixing it is going to be difficult. So they're like, well, if it's your fault, you're responsible for fixing it. But that's not the case. The whole party is responsible for fixing it. Everybody.
I agree.
If our water stopped, if the water pipe stopped working and we didn't have nobody to fix it, are we gonna be like, well, they burst because it is, so they should fix it, or is everybody gonna fix it so we don't all fucking die of thirst?
Exactly. And I think that's what's missing among people, especially black people in particular. We don't cooperate or seem to work well together. And that goes into the dog attack I suffered recently. One of those little lap dog hot dogs. The little motherfuckers that will bite your Achilles heel so you can't walk anymore.
Those dangerous.
Yeah, and you can't get folks to understand that if you are a dog owner, if your dog bites somebody, you're liable for that. So put them on a leash. Very simple.
Teach them in court.
Well, no, I'm not going to do all of that. You understand what I'm saying? I have an easier solution. Let them bite me, and then kick them to death. that might be cruel and unusual. I know that's right. I left my wallet in El Segundo. I can't pay my bill. But yeah, you know, man, we messed up out here, Tone, man. We really messed up out here, man. And that's why I be saying everybody acts like it's not true.
You see how we blame, like how we that's why I'd be like I guess hesitant to keep constantly saying, well, it's the white people's fault, it's the white people's fault, because Our race decides, well, oh, if it's their fault, then they gotta fix it. No. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
what I would say in regards to that is this: is that they are the creators of the environment that we're in.
Right.
So to say that they are blameless is
No, I'm not saying.
erroneous. But
I'm,
you do have a point. But here's my counter to that. A lot of, and I said it before in a quite vulgar way, but a lot of people are just like sleepwalking. They not really aware of what's happening to them. And so they have a tendency to think that they're making their decisions, independent of their environment, and that's just not true. And uh were this not the case, then I would say that we could fully accept total responsibility. But it's not one-sided. You know what I'm saying? Because God, for example, I'll use myself as an example. I'm aware enough to know what I should and should not be doing. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm not looking at it and taking it personal. I'm looking at it like cold business. Okay, this is the business that these folks are in. Let me make sure I make my involvement as minimal as possible. But I also understand that I exist within a context. So most Black folks won't acknowledge the fact that in order to drive a car, you have to go to the white folks, right?
right.
But they'll act like, I'm the big boss because I got 10 cars. So what when you got to get permission to even drive it? You see what I'm saying? So they'll ignore that and they look at just the surface shit.
Comfort.
In other words, I'll put it in an analogy. People are like you seen them in the pods in the Matrix when Neo woke up. They sleep, but they don't know that they sleep because they conscious. And it's like being conscious in your dream. That's the way this society is set up. And we didn't do that. It would be like blaming a rat or a mouse for not being able to figure out how to get out of a maze. He does, bear some responsibility because he's intelligent enough to figure it out. But at the same time, you also have to place the blame on the people who put him in it. You know what I'm saying? So if you put fish in a fishbowl and they die, it ain't just their fault that they die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I look at both of those things. But we do have individually, we do have agency because we can make a decision. But like Neo famously said in the movie The Matrix, the problem is choice.
That's true. Everybody knows that it ain't no, it's like a war. Like, everybody not gonna make it to the other side. You know that the people that you sitting with right now may not be the same when you make it to the other end of it, and you're afraid of what that other end is because you don't know what it is. But we not at a mind frame where we realize that whatever that result is better than what the fuck we doing with now. Even I don't remember the guy who said it, but I know it was a white guy that said, "Give me liberty or give me death," and we not there. We're like, well, shit, we got money, we got chains, we got cars, we got fast food, we got smartphones, Why would we fuck that up? Well, because we want to be able to do what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we at. We're too comfortable in it. And that's why I say we can blame white people for why, putting us in it, but we can't blame them for why we've been in it and ain't got no farther to get closer to getting out.
I agree with you 100%. And as a matter of fact, I've even, spoke to that and have said that, or remarked rather, I'm sure that it's something that we could or should be doing that we ain't doing that would alleviate the situation. You know, but talk like this falls on deaf ears. I mean, you can just look now and see that the fact that it's just me and you kicking it, but that's cool. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't have to reach 1,000 people. I only need to reach one at a time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel it.
Excuse me, I had to stop. So, what's coming in the future for Tone? Any new comedy shows coming up? And I subscribe
Right
to
now,
your I subscribe to your music channel, and the one that I played the intro video off of. I think you only got like
yeah.
2 videos up there so far.
Mm. Yeah. I think so I had that was like ran by the label I was with,
Hmm.
and I know they started pulling stuff off of Spotify, but I don't know if they pulled it all off of YouTube. It was more stuff on there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
I had to
I got,
download it
I
so
got
I can
little
save it.
cousins. Yeah, I got little cousins that still do music and shit too. I might link you to some of their stuff. It's
Hmm.
we rap about different subjects, but that shit's still nice.
Hmm. Salute, Mr. Ackman, and salute Cam. Glad you could join us this evening. I appreciate it. This is a more somber, more serious conversation. It's the kind of conversation that I'm always chomping at the bit to have because I firmly stand on the principle that as men, we should be about solving problems in the most efficient manner. And that is by not creating new ones while we're trying to solve the ones that are already in existence. Um, the next thing I want to talk about, because I've been getting into this recently, is this Bitcoin thing. You know anything about it? Do you have any investments? If I'm not mistaken, I believe you have at least one child. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so like what I'm asking is like do you often think about future plans in reference to yourself and your child? So like what are your thoughts about Tone's retirement when he gets 55?
Um, I think about that every day. Actually,
Mm,
every day I think about like how to get myself. I do this thing where
mhm,
like if I did something in advance and it benefited me later, I like to think past me for putting the
mhm.
effort forward to make my current me or at the time future me be in a better position than I was. Because I used to like a lot of stuff I did as a young person has fucked me as an older person. I'm not old yet, but you know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean.
What you
It's
did at
fucked,
20,
it fucked me over.
it affects you at 30. The butterfly effect applied on
Exactly.
an individual level.
And that's the way that's kind of a way I appreciate myself, but it's also a way I keep myself kind of progressive.
Hmm.
My one thing my dad always stressed to me was like there's no such thing as standing still. You're either moving forward or falling back because everything else is moving regardless. And that kind of stuck with me because I've seen people who like thought that they was just riding the pine and just doing things fairly in the middle, and you could fall so far behind so quick. It's crazy. There's another saying. It's easier to keep up than catch up, and
Yeah,
that's
I
that's
never
pretty
heard
much
that
it.
before. Yeah, I never heard that one
You never heard
before.
it?
I gotta write that down. It's easier to keep up than it is to catch up. I know that's right. The reason why I ask is because I know that a lot of us black guys, we these are not discussions that we have amongst ourselves as men, and a lot of us don't have it with our children. I know my mom and dad didn't have it with me. so much. And it took me, I'm still learning, but it's taken me to this age, to learn how, even though you want to live in the moment, the here and now, because that's really all you have until you get into the future. But you still want to have plans for the future, because every woman loves an ambitious man, and every man should have an ambition. And that should be one of our primary ambitions. But as a 45-year-old man now, I can confidently say to you, being that you 15 years younger than me, that it's something that you should really, really invest more time into thinking about, especially because you're a father. And the reason is because you're 30 now. By the time we get off this live, you'll be 50. I'm just joking, but you get what I'm trying to say.
I know. I get what you're saying, man.
So,
But
and
God,
a lot of us, we don't think about these things. And some of these young guys nowadays are thinking, they're forward thinking like that. A lot of these little young rich guys are forward thinking like that. And also, for the younger guys, your age and younger, as older black man, something that hinders us as a group of men is that we don't manage much of anything. We think we do, but we don't really. We're managed. That's why you got a job. You understand what I'm saying? And we don't make things besides t-shirts and rap songs, and we have to begin to get gain the confidence that we're going to need, for if we're going to have a future on this planet. Now, I don't have all the answers on how to do that, but I can tell you, I do think that is very, very important, because if you look around this planet, every other group of men manufacture and manage their own, time and space. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing the same thing.
we need a certain group of us to be willing to sacrifice their life for the betterment of everyone.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because it's an echo of Mr. Neely Fuller's sentiment, where he says that it's not going to take all black people to, begin to correct the situation. It's just going to take the right quantum amount, the right quantum number. It could be 100. Who knows? For example. Back to get to moonwalk back right quick to the question that I asked earlier. Are you into crypto? Because I'm just getting into the shit, and I think it's fucking exciting.
Yeah, I got into it last year, and it was real exciting.
Oh, okay.
Last year, like with Bitcoin, it went from like when I started getting into it, it was at like 11,000.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's it's going down right now, but it got all the way up like in March to like 60.
Shit, it's still up. If you got into it when it was 11,000 and it's 40,000 now, it's still up by 400%.
Yeah, so it ain't it took a little hit recently, but I don't think it's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And one of the reasons why I'm bringing it up is because, and for anybody who listens to this on the playback, this is the kind of information you motherfuckers will have to pay me for to hear. But when I was doing time, I noticed that they was converting the facilities from cash to cashless. I also noticed it, before I went to prison, and then after I got out, with the introduction of credit cards and debit cards. Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. In my opinion, I think the overall ultimate purpose of the white man is to give rise to the machines. Just like you've seen depicted in the movie The Matrix. Just like you see in the Terminator. And if you think about things like Bitcoin, it's not just a cashless system for America. It's a global cashless system. Which means now you have a computer running everybody's money.
There's a good and a bad.
One network of computers, you know, all tied together, running people's money. And then you see them,
Right.
you see the dollar crashing. I just think that these are dangerous but amazing times, man. I'm glad to be here to witness it. I get frustrated by a lot of the shit that I see, but it's to be expected, really, to be perfectly honest about it.
I think there's a pro and a con to the whole cashless thing. Well, at least the way that they're doing it. The con is like you got them all in your mix, and you know what I'm saying. They get, you know, they got more control over your shit, but also it gives us, because the thing with Bitcoin is kind of, I believe it's trackable or something like that. So we can actually see what these motherfuckers is doing with our tax money. We can see where this shit disappearing to, because that's what's fucking us. The reason the dollar is falling is because we got money that's trillions of dollars that just keep disappearing out of no fucking. And then when it's time to pay the little debt that we pay yearly or whatever, they reaching in our pocket and not in their pockets for the shit that we already gave.
Same thing with Social Security. From what I understand, is the fund is actually broke, and by the time I get to be, you know, social security age, you know, in my 60, 65, 68, 700, whatever the fucking age requirement is now, there won't be any money. And so, you know, this is the point of this part of the dialogue, is that you young guys out there, man, you're going to have to learn how to become financially literate. You can have all the game you want about women, but if you don't got no game about no money, the women ain't going to be around for long. You definitely ain't going to be able to teach them nothing. And if you have children, what are you going to leave them? Because as a black person, we know most of our parents ain't leave us shit. And we ain't, you know, most of us ain't planning to leave our children shit because we ain't doing what it takes to do that. To be perfectly honest. So I think that's another wheel in the car, another cog in the wheel. You know, another problem that we have that, you know, we should be up here discussing. How are we going to fix these things? Because as long as we avoid the conversation, you know, we're going to have to deal with the problem. But I could be mistaken.
I think, yeah, like you said, you're right. But I just don't see us ceasing to avoid that conversation. Something drastic has to happen. Like, I feel like you have to literally watch a Klansman hang somebody on national TV at the White House. You know what I'm saying? For looking at his girlfriend. And then the government saying he good, for us to be like, all right, bro, enough is enough. And even then, they ain't gonna do nothing but hashtag it.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, like I said earlier, we bad out here, man. And like Mr. Freeport say, yeah, we fucked up out here, man. Seriously. Good evening, Nan. How you doing, bro? You know, that's the homie Tone. And yeah, our names was covered up. But yeah. Roe was supposed to be in tonight. He was unable to make it. So me and, you know, the show must go on. So me and Tone kicking it. I see Cam here said that he has some cryptocurrency, and he went digging in his wallets and saw he had and saw 4.6 I sent somewhere, Bad feelings. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by what you're saying, except that what you had $12 in crypto, you accidentally sent 4.6 of something to somewhere. Yeah, you'd have to give me a little more detail about what you're saying. But the reason why I bring it up is because I'm just really getting into it. To be perfectly honest, I think it's very exciting, and it's definitely coming. So get familiar with it now while you have the opportunity, while it's still in its infancy, so that you'll be better prepared in the future. Because cashless society is global cashless world is coming. You heard it here first. If you never heard it before. Um, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Anything else that you wanted to mention, Tom? That you was itching to talk about?
I feel like we kind of touched bases on a lot of the stuff.
Okay.
But
Any
like
closing?
subject wise.
Okay. Any closing
But
thoughts before we get out of here?
as a closing thought, I like to say I'm ready to stop talking about it and be about it. But if we're not gonna be about it, stop talking about
Agreed. Agreed. And I would like to add to that thought, not to cut you off, but to reiterate to people, black men specifically, that the first thing that we have to do to combat this situation that we are in is acknowledge that we are in it. You got to put your pride and your feelings to the side. The next two things you have to do is change your mentality and then change how you do things, change how you operate. Because at this point, we don't have firepower and resources and all that shit at our disposal, like, the opponent does. So you have to do what you can and do the best you can. And, the fundamentals, mindset, and behavior never go out of style. And like Mr. Fuller says, uh, like Tariq Nasheed has said before, or at least spoken or alluded to it, I've said it, and several other people have said it. Even the pimp said, you have to have a code, principles, a set of principles that dictate how you act at any time and in any situation. And I would also like to add to that you got to do it with truth. That's going to help you avoid a lot of shit. Then we basically, was just kicking it off the dome. So I would advise that you catch the playback. You got to be on time or ahead of time, preferably ahead of time. And I don't want to put anybody in chains. What I want to see is that there's justice for everybody, and that is guaranteed. Because we can guarantee a motherfucker go get a paycheck if they show up for work and they qualify for the job. But that's the problem with deserving and entitlement. Somebody else gets to make the decision and not you. So, before we get out of here, anything further, Tom?
I think, like how you was just saying too, I want to say, if you do, if you don't get anything from what we talked about today, take this. Be more aware of the decisions you make affect everything around you. And when you do that, start to notice things around you change.
Interesting. Very interesting. I agree with you on that. And I could say in my own personal life, a lot of the things that I have done has resulted in a negative outcome when I could have easily made a different choice and got a different outcome. So the ripple effect does have merit. You know, I don't often practice it as much as I should. And I would like to say that I'm a lot more conscious of it when I am doing it than I think most other people are. But I'm also the type of person that's willing to pay the price for what it is that I'd like to do. Most people aren't like that. And I don't expect them to be. But with that, Tone, shout out your social media contacts in case folks want to check out any of your comedy or any of your music. Let the folks know if you got anything upcoming and where they can reach you at on social media.
All right. Well, right now I ain't got no shows coming up, but I'm still gonna be posting content on my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, which I also be posting content. Both of them are ToneYouAFool. Check them out. I'm always posting some funny shit. The most recent one I got that's popping is that Morgan Freeman one. It's on Instagram. It's doing all right, but on TikTok right now, it's like 3,000 and some views. A lot of people going off about it. It's kind of funny. Comments is cracking me up.
Yeah, I got to check that out. And where can the folks reach you besides that, or is that just it?
That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, you got the info, folks. Tone social medias information going to be linked down in the video description below. Make sure you check them out. If you didn't catch the intro, go back and listen to the song that he did with Sean Kingston. That right?
Yep. Me and Sean.
It's hot. And we're gonna leave y'all with another young homie from Instagram. My young homie Big Bill. Yo, this dude, I like this dude. This dude, I think he got a lot of potential just at producing. So until next time, folks, make sure you follow me on both of my Instagram pages, the Incredible T.O.P and the Top Cast Instagram page. Make sure you follow the Top Cast on Anchor or your favorite podcast outlet. If you haven't, subscribe to the YouTube page. Bring a friend. Tell your friend to bring their auntie. Like, comment, and share the material. And we'll see you guys next Monday. Hopefully, Roe made it back safely. And the three of us will be back together to kick it with y'all once again. Again, this is from the young homie, Big Bill. Until next time, we out.
It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning. Gotta keep improving yourself, baby. Gotta keep improving yourself. Ate some avocados in the morning, forgot I was fasting. They trying to stop my bag. I'm always getting cash. I went to go work out. Look at the sun, took out the trash. Hired a personal trainer, just gave up. I gotta get up early morning like I still got class. Keep wine on the stove cause I'm trying to eat so healthy. I'm doing everything that I need to be wealthy. I'm rapping on this beat. I be thinking when they dreaming. But sometimes I don't even sleep. Sometimes I don't even eat. Steaming all these vegetables, stacking all this dream. I'm trying to do the best for my self-esteem. I'm going to the studio, be focused on the lead. It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning. I said it's a beautiful morning. Sunrise. If I ever hear you say,
Yeah, bring your auntie at your own risk, nigga.
Creating paradise.